So you're thinking about moving to Lubbock, Texas, but you're not even sure where Lubbock is on the map. Well, today I wanted to dive into my computer, show you the map of Lubbock, explain exactly where things are, the destination to downtown, how close it is to the airport, all the things to do, and what's going on in each area of Lubbock, Texas. And so we're gonna get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, sleeping, eating, playing here in Lubbock, Texas, well then be sure to tap that bell and hit that subscribe button so that you can be the first to know when a new video drops. Also, I get calls every single day from people just like you looking to make their move to Lubbock, Texas. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, I'd love to get to know you. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text or send me an email so that way I can help you and your family make a smooth move to Lubbock, Texas. And so as I mentioned, I'm going to get into my computer, show you where Lubbock is, close proximity to neighboring cities. Also just kind of dive a little bit deeper into the different locations here in Lubbock, things to do so that depending on what you are interested in, we can kind of narrow down where you should be within Lubbock, Texas. And so we're going to go in my computer and I'll see you there. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is our highways. I know a lot of people, might think that Lubbock might not have any highways, but in recent years we started building and continuing to add, and we do have a lot more that are in the process. And I'll talk about that here in a second. So first things first, I want to talk about is Loop 289. So Loop 289 is going to be our major. It's called our loop. That's going to be, what connects Lubbock in a circle. Anything that's going to be south of the loop is a lot where Lubbock is growing. A lot of new builds there that are happening in South Lubbock. And then also, what I wanted to talk about is the new outer loop. So Loop 88. So Loop 88 is going to connect Slayton, just down here, all the way to South Lubbock, and then to Wolford, and then go up into shallow water. And so it's going to connect all of these neighboring small towns together, which is something that we clearly don't have right now and that we are in desperate need of, because if you do live South Lubbock right over here, it's really time consuming to come all this way to get to the loop to get to where you want to go. And so hopefully we'll be able to jump on the loop from Loop 88 and then connect onto 6282 and get on the loop that way. So those are our one main highways right now is the loop, and then our second main highway that is getting built as we speak. And so second, I wanted to talk about I-27. So I-27 is a major highway that connects Lubbock to Amarillo, to Austin, to Dallas. So really anywhere that you try to go, you're gonna typically take I-27 out of Lubbock. And out of Lubbock, you can see, so just north of Lubbock, you'll run into Plainview on 27, and then you'll keep going north and you'll run into Amarillo, which is northern of the Panhandle. And then same too, if you go down south, you'll take I-27 and then you'll hop on up to 84 and you'll take 84 all the way down into Austin. So Austin runs this way through Post. And so really Austin is about a 6-hour drive from Lubbock. Houston is about a 8 to 9 hour drive, sometimes 7, just kind of depends on where you're going in Houston. And Dallas is anywhere between 4 to 5 hours. So you can see that we're kind of, located by ourselves up here. However, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so that you can really get a sense of how close we are to the New Mexico border. And right here is the New Mexico border. So really, I know in previous videos I've talked about how it's very simple for us to just hop on and get over to New Mexico, where there's tons of hiking, biking, all the types of trails. So it's super quick to New Mexico, and then from New Mexico, you're not in there long, and then you can go up north into Amarillo area, and then head north into Colorado. So we are super close to Colorado as well too, depending on where you want to go to Colorado. Like I said, I love skiing, so we typically go to Colorado a lot, where it's only about a 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive to the nearest ski resort, which is pretty nice. It takes the same amount of time to drive to Austin, but in the snowy months, you might want to do a little bit of recreational fun. So let's zoom back into Lubbock and let's talk a little bit more of Lubbock in general and kind of the growth that's happening in Lubbock. So anywhere in Lubbock, there's a saying that it takes you about 15 minutes to get anywhere you want to be. Since Lubbock is growing, that number has changed to more around like 20 minutes, depending on where you want to be, because there's more traffic coming in, there's more people, and honestly, Lubbock is just expanding. And so anything that's built that's inside of the loop, was original. So the original to Lubbock, I mean like built 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, the 70s, 80s. This is where Lubbock was originally built, was inside of the main loop. And so if you're wanting central Lubbock, a lot of people love central Lubbock because that's where a lot of the school like sports and stuff happen, is in central Lubbock. There's going to be a little bit more trees in central Lubbock because they're very established neighborhoods. So if you're wanting more of an established neighborhood, central Lubbock might be where you want to end up. And so Texas Tech University on the map, as you can see, is pretty much in the center of Lubbock. And so anything that's going to be close to Texas Tech University are going to be your historical homes. You can get, priced into the millions over there, and you can also get priced as low as the 100,000s. And so it's such a diverse, unique community that when you get closer to Texas Tech, so really depending on what you want, we might be able to find it if you like the established areas or for an investment property. So if you are looking for investments, also a lot of investors tend to like the area around campus because they do rent really well to tech students. Just something I wanted to point out there. But really, these are going to be your homes that were built, 40s, 50s, 60s. However, if you go North Lubbock, I'll start north and then work our way back down south. So North Lubbock is North by Northwest, Shadow Hills area. There's some Terra Vista. It's a brand new neighborhood that opened up. So there's a ton of newer development happening in North Lubbock. North Lubbock has been steadily growing over the last few years and has really been booming over the last couple of years because South and West Lubbock have really exceeded and expanded so much. So North Lubbock, you're going to have a little bit of a lower price range, but you're also going to have some newer homes. And when I say lower price range, the reason why I say that is because North Lubbock has not grown as fast as South and West Lubbock has. And so I believe, over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a lot more commercial growth due to the development of new housing that is in North Lubbock. And so you can get a brand new construction house, for $350,000, $400,000, anywhere as low as $200,000 to $250,000. So this is going to be your North Lubbock, and some things to do in North Lubbock. I mean, I don't know if you know what the Alamo Draft House is, but it's a pretty cool little deal. You can go watch a movie, you get waited on, they bring your food to you. So it's a whole experience. But that is North Lubbock, which is nice. And then a lot of the shopping. When I say shopping, I mean kind of blends into West Lubbock where let me see if I can find it on here, which is West End over here. So West End Shopping Center, right over here, you'll have like your Costco, your Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond. So a lot of those bigger stores are in West End, and I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that as we get into West Lubbock. But it is super close to North Lubbock, as you can see, because you can just hop right on the loop and it gets you and takes you wherever you want to go. There's also some older homes in this area as well. And so if you like to just kind of be a little bit further away from things and kind of feel, a little secluded, North Lubbock would be where you want to be. Also, the Rawls Golf Course right here is also a really great golf course if you do like to golf, and it's part of Texas Tech. So then we're going to move into West Lubbock. So moving into West Lubbock is going to be, as you can see, West End, right over here. West End is going to be your main shopping centers for Lubbock. It's right outside the loop, so quick access to anywhere you want to go. It's right off. You can see Main Event. We'll have Sam's Club over here as well. Technically, this is very, very similar to West End. You'll have Sam's Club. You'll have the Cabela's, Nike store, Best Buy. I mean, you have a ton of just commercial growth in these areas, which a lot of people are enjoying because it is right off the loop. It's super quick and easy to access. Also, a lot of restaurants will be in there. We have PF Chang's just opened up there. It's a nicer, Asian restaurant. And then you'll see you have like Twin Peaks, Saltgrass. This is your Canyon West, your Target. So it kind of blends in together. They're not very far from each other, about a mile or two. And so those are going to be your two main shopping centers. And so West Lubbock is absolutely growing, except a little bit on the outskirts of the loop. So West Lubbock off of Upland and west of Upland is going to be, it's kind of blending in into merging into one, but it's technically in the subdivision or the surrounding city or suburb called Wolfforth. So Wolfforth is an amazing city suburb outside of Lubbock that a lot of people like to be in because there's, again, going to be your newer development. Preston Hollow, Preston Smith. You're going to have a bunch of newer construction homes up in this area, ranging from 400 to 700,000. Could go more than that depending on where you are building. And so that's all around in this area, tons of growth, but again, not as established as your central Lubbock homes. So you're not going to be able to see all those trees. You will have some, of course, but that's really, you're going to see a lot of development and growth over in the west area. Also west is super close to 6282, which again takes you into, Target, Sam's Club. So really, Sam's Club and Target is right off that loop. So it's quick and easy access from West Lubbock as well. And so going into South Lubbock. So South Lubbock is really going to be where you're going to have a lot of established neighborhoods, but you're also going to have a lot of new construction. So it's kind of a mix. I think if you have ever heard of anybody moving here, we get a lot that people want to be in South Lubbock because that's where they heard that the growth is happening. However, there's still plenty of established neighborhoods in this area like Regal Park or Bacon Crest. Those are going to be your main subdivisions that are within central Lubbock. Technically, it's still outside the loop a little bit, but you're a little bit south, but you are going to be in an established neighborhood. So Lake Ridge Country Club is a great country club. That's going to be on the south side. And a lot of the older Lake Ridge is what we call is going to be a lot of your older homes. And then just south of 98th is going to be like your newer Lake Ridge. And then also, as we go a little bit more south, we're going to have our first HEB that opened up. HEB is set to open a couple more locations here in Lubbock. So fingers crossed that happens. I think that they want to build one North Lubbock, so that way it doesn't take you 15 minutes to get to HEB, which if you're anywhere that you're moving, 15 minutes is not a long time. But once you live here, you will think 15 minutes is forever. Las Brisas is a fantastic restaurant south of town. It's very, very popular. One of the nicest steakhouses that we have here. And then, Vintage Township is going to be like your townhome homes that if you want to be kind of in your townhome, a little exclusive. And then if you get a little bit more south of Lubbock, you're going to find your newer construction. So those are going to be your homes that don't have a ton of trees. It's going to be a ton of new construction homes, all built within the last 5 to 7 years and continuing to build as well. So this area and more south and off of Woodrow, you're going to have the South Fork area, which is here. Those are going to be like your $1 million homes that are going to be south. And so that's really where the upper scale homes are going to be off of Woodrow. And then if you go a little bit more south, it is bleeding into, just like West Lubbock was bleeding into the suburb of Wolfforth. South Lubbock is bleeding into the suburb of New Home. So New Home is its own suburb outside of Lubbock, but since Lubbock has been growing so much more south and southwest, it is kind of overflowing into New Home. You're going to be on larger lots. You're going to be on acre plus homes. So if you're looking for something that is a little bit larger, but also sometimes older, sometimes new, it really just depends on the location. New Home might be a great option for you. They're going to have lower tax rates. They're going to have their own school district. So we can get you some more information on New Home if that's where you are wanting to be. And then wanted to touch on East Lubbock. So East Lubbock, if you are moving from anywhere that you are on a body of water and you've heard that Lubbock doesn't have any body of waters, well, you might be mistaken because we do, and it's Ransom and Buffalo Springs. So that's going to be your East Lubbock. So it's really not far from from central Lubbock or from really, inside Lubbock itself. It's about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on where you're at within the two. But these are two each of their own separate subdivisions or suburbs outside of Lubbock. Buffalo Springs is its own, and then Ransom Canyon is its own suburb as well. So there's a ton of options depending on what you're looking for. Not a lot of homes come up for sale a lot on the lake because everybody wants to go on the lake and they don't necessarily sell all the time. But there's a new subdivision coming up in Buffalo Springs. So there's tons of new growth over there as well, which has not happened in a really long time. So that's awesome if you do want to get into a newer home but be very close proximity to the lake. Well, then that would be a really good option for you to explore as well. And so east and northeast Lubbock is where you're going to have a lot of the commercial development. So you're going to have Lubbock Country Club is going to be north right here is going to be your Lubbock Country Club. And there is going to be a new country club that we'll be building south of Lubbock. This is going to be your airport area, a lot of the Amazon. We have an Amazon hub that is North Lubbock right up in here. We have like the DPS, like kind of a lot of your commercial buildings that are just your bigger commercialized areas of businesses. And that's going to be kind of all up in northeast Lubbock. So that takes up really our map tour of Lubbock, Texas. Of course, I did want to mention before we head out is the smaller towns or suburbs around Lubbock, which I will go into more detail in a different video, but we have New Deal, Shallow Water, and Idalou. All three are amazing little suburbs of Lubbock if you don't want to necessarily be in the city, but you want to be within 20 minutes. I mean, they're not far off from actual Lubbock. You'll still be able to have your grocery stores. You have little small grocery stores and, here and there within the three suburbs, but also if you want to do like your big shopping, you're not that far away from downtown Lubbock. And it actually brings me to, I did want to point out downtown Lubbock. So downtown Lubbock is very, very historic. It's pretty unique downtown area. We don't have a ton of newer construction happening in downtown Lubbock, but we have amazing food and restaurants. You can see, the Pioneer Pocket Hotel. So the Pioneer Hotel is also home to the West Table, which is an amazing restaurant. Here, also, we have the Nicolette, which has been starred in, a food magazine as a new up-and-coming restaurant to look out for. So we have a ton of newer, amazing restaurants downtown Lubbock and some law offices, and that's really going to be like your main hub for restaurants or historic restaurants. You're going to be on cobblestone. It's pretty cool. The road is cobblestone. You have a winery down in downtown Lubbock, but you're not going to see as many homes in downtown Lubbock. Really, everything's going to be a little bit more central or southwest, north Lubbock. So I hope that you enjoyed that map tour of Lubbock. You got a little sense of what's going on in the Lubbock area from north to south, east to west, and so that you can make an informed decision on where you would like to be whenever you do move here. We'd love the opportunity to help you and your family. Like I said, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know whenever a new video hits. If you have any questions about the content that we talked about today, please let me know in the comments. We can be doing anything to help you and your family. We'd love the opportunity to. And until next time, I'll see you around.